the final day, the final countdown. Okay. Anyway, you can tell what genre I grew up in. I'm yeah, the 80s, great music. I was in junior high and high school during the 80s, and so we had the best music ever. Anyway, day 30, final day of my 30-day video challenge, and I don't know, it's been exciting, but yeah, I know what I'm gonna do next. I have dreaded this last video because I don't know, it feels like wah, 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 you know. I don't know how to tell you why. Well, I'm gonna try. So I wanted to share some takeaways I had from doing this 30-day video challenge, and one of them is I know I'm not a professional YouTuber, and I'm okay with that. I don't want to invest the money and the time to make it like perfect. So if I do continue doing videos, I'm not going to be investing extra resources I have, because that's not my priority, into having the right equipment, the right backgrounds, the right lightings. I just used what I already had in my office, you know, available to me in my offices. And I'm not gonna buy the software I need to like edit. I use Canva and I do what I can there. I learned that there's a lot of times that my face looks really orange, or the lighting, the coloring was just horrendous. And no matter amount of editing I did, I couldn't fix it a lot of times, and that was very frustrating to me. So I know that if I continue, those are some issues that are going to be a challenge for me, and if I do continue, it's going to have to be kind of like a, hey, this is what it is, this is what I have available to me, and we're just gonna go for it. And so hoping that maybe the content that I can present will override anything visually that is going to be lacking. All that to say is some of the things I learned about the 30-day video challenge, and this one might be a minute or two longer, was consistency, which we hear all the time is really important. However, it's not just consistency, it's consistency in the right things. And so that's what I've really been having to ask myself over the last month is this the right thing for me? Where am I going in my business and life? They're really tied together. You know, so these daily videos were fantastic in terms of, I also learned how important it is to really reflect on the lessons in every single day. So, you know, I shared a lot of things from every day. I just got on and I turned it off and I just talked, and I loved how what bubbled out of me were things that I was learning that day, and how and it really helped me apply it. And to you, the watcher, maybe it was boring or it didn't really mean anything, but to me, each one, as if I can lock and load, you know, we're like fire hydrants. We're constantly receiving input and information, but there has to be a way for us to absorb. And actually doing these videos was really helping me absorb things that were just flying at me and going by, and you're like, oh, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. But we never really take stuff in, kind of like when we scroll through, and I didn't get to do this video. That was one of those days where, you know, I held up those cards and I said, I'll come back and do them, and I never did. But they were quotes, and I was talking about how we just scroll through social media and stuff like that. Cool quote, like, and we're liking stuff everywhere, but we're not taking it in. And that's far more important than liking a bunch of stuff. I'd rather have one quote in a day that I sit and I meditate on and I chew on it, and I see follow-up things that reinforce the quote I saw earlier, so that it really gets down inside of me, versus, you know, 1,000 different quotes that are inspirational for half a second and then forgotten. And one of the other things is, I just had to laugh on this. When I try to do the wide view on the videos, it comes out terrible. I hate the way I look. And I know this isn't the correct format really for a good video, but this works for me. And then also I was like, without specifics, nothing's going to get done. So I was like, yeah, I want to continue this, but I don't want to do it every day. I'll just do it every once in a while. And then I quickly realized, I was like, no, if I just think I'll just do it every once in a while, I will never, ever do another video. And that's just the reality of how life works. And so if I continue this, I'm going to have to sit down and go, it's going to be done on these very specific days. So all that to say is I have some answers. I don't have all of them. So one of the answers I do have is, yes, I'm continuing videos. They're going to be called It's Not Just Business. It's really I already have a Substack by that name. And really it's just, again, a continuation of my life as a micro business owner. And I'm hoping that, not hoping, my goal is to be a little more prepared on those videos that, yes, I want to reflect on the lessons I learned during the day, but instead of just flipping on the camera and just talking and having no plan, I don't have it in front of me, but I love notebooks, and I already have a notebook where in the mornings, that's my goal, is I sit down and I write out, what am I learning right now? Or what did I learn yesterday? And I've actually got stacks of notebooks with those kinds of notes. And so I'm going to be taking those notes, or I'm going to be taking the notes I made, a day or two before, and sharing those with you and using that as content. And also my magazines. My magazines are very thought-provoking. Again, this is my main business. And here's a couple of my magazines. That was my very first one. And this was called For the Beauty of the Earth. I've showed you my most recent. Here's another one called Favorite Things. But I'll be taking my magazines and kind of talking about maybe some of the articles that are in, or the poems or the thoughts that are in some of those magazines, because the magazine, that's who I am. I'm a very deep thinker, and so this is a thought-provoking magazine. That's how we market it. This is not a 10 tips for spring cleaning kind of a magazine, or 5 recipes for your favorite scone. That's not the type of magazine it is. Everyone is theme-based, has a very specific topic for that, and then I allow people who contribute to interpret that topic the way they wish. And but for me, I bring people in a journey, and then after the articles, I always have something interactive to help people really process what we just talked about. So it's not entertaining, but it's inspiring, and it's also to help us slow down and chew on things. And like that whole idea I said of when you see a quote, we see quotes all the time on social media, and we just fly through them and we never give it a thought. And I want to help people to slow down enough to give the things we encounter a thought, because we may go, oh, that was a great quote, but then when we sit and think about it, we're like, wait, that's not a great quote. It makes no sense, or that's really bad advice. Because but we take in and we accept things because we don't think through them. And sometimes it is good to accept something and go, yeah, that's really good, I'm going to adopt that. But a lot of us have lost the ability to think through things and to ponder what something means before we invite it into our life. And I know that sounds really deep, but all that to say is, yes, I'm going to have more videos. It's going to be called It's Not Just Business. So yes, there'll be some business tips that I learned as a micro business owner, but most of it's just going to be my life as a micro business owner, because my life and my business, they're so intertwined. My spiritual life, my business life, my personal life are so intertwined. You can't separate them. What impacts one impacts the others. What I learn in one, I apply to every area in my life. So thanks for being with me for the last 30 days, and I hope you stick around. I'm hoping to launch It's Not Just Business, vlog, podcast, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be calling it a podcast, but it will be here on YouTube. Hoping to launch that this week. And by that time, I'll have some more specifics down as to how many days a week that'll be. Again, they'll still be 3 to 5 minutes long with extended versions every once in a while. But my goal is to keep them really short thoughts and that I can share with you like I had before. And I know this one is double the time that I normally do, but it's my final day, and I wanted to recap my 30 days and then also lay out what I have in store for the future. So I'll see you again in a few days, and I'll see you again as in the It's Not Just Business podcast. And I'm still Laura, the Microbiz chick, and thanks so much for doing this journey with me, and I will talk to you soon.